Okay, so our next series is going to be percussion. I think there's more than five scores, but they're categorized all over the place. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, let's start with Xenakis Rebonds, which is a 12-minute sort of staple of contemporary solo percussion repertoire. And it's from the late 80s, dedicated to Silvio Gualda. I'm assuming that's the percussionist who premiered it. And first part is for two bongos, three toms, and two bass drums. The second part is for two bongos, tuba, tom tom, bass drum, and five wood blocks. So it's all unpitched percussion. This isn't our first Xenakis episode, so I encourage you to go to the first one to get his biography more or less. He's a super interesting figure in contemporary music. And we also have a quote here at the beginning of the score: an immense abstract ritual, a suite of movements and of hammerings without any folkloristic contamination. Pure music full of marvelously efflorescent rhythms, going beyond drama and tempest, a new masterpiece. I'm not sure if that is taken from somewhere else or if it's about Rebonds, and it's just a part of this edition, but and here you go. This is what the start of the first part looks like. It's at quarter equals 40. This is what the start of the second part looks like. The wood blocks have their own stave at the top, and it's at quarter equals 60. If you want to listen along with me, the recording's in the video description. And then if once I'm done with this, I will let you know my thoughts, things I heard on this listen today, and yeah, I'm excited to revisit this. So let's do it. Okay, so I was not able to find um, one recording, like one performance of both back to back. It seems that it's much more popular to either perform one or the other. Um, on the page, they're both about the same length, but because of the tempo difference, Rebond's A is much longer. I think, and I think Rebond's A is less interesting. Um, Rebond's B has like all of these woodblock moments and this like grace note figure that takes over the piece at one point. It's got a lot of like different ideas, whereas Rebond's A is more of like a slow build and it doesn't really break with the idea until the very end here. Um, yeah, I think it's a pretty original work. Like, I think this inspired a lot of percussion writing, a lot of composers. Like, I think the composer to the film score of Acura mentioned a Xenakis influence, and I think it's definitely influenced by pieces like this, like these his percussion works, which I think are probably his most performed pieces today. Um, like he has a lot of piano works, but they're more famous for being difficult than being performed. And he has like, similarly, his orchestra pieces don't get played that much. I guess there was an album of Xenakis's like electronic music released recently that was um, brought attention to that. So maybe that's popular too. It's a fascinating thing, like unpitched percussion solo. Um, like every performance of this that I've heard has a completely different sound because the performer also gets to pick the instruments that they're playing on and like tailor the sound of them to how they think this piece should sound. So it's actually a really interesting little sound world, and mostly like drums and wood. There's like no metal, unpitched metal. So I think that's why people might want to compare it to like folkloristic things. I mean, it brings to mind like um, prehistory and things like that. But it's obviously there's something behind the composing of it that is very modern and procedural. Um, so yeah, I think there's another solo percussion piece by Xenakis. So if you're interested in this, I would check that out. It might be Safa. I don't have the score to it, but yeah, that's that. Next will be uh, Per Norgard piece called I Ching, and that's also a really big one. So the first three scores we're looking at are all going to be very big 20th century percussion works.